Before players can become Super Bowl champions and achieve greatness, there's usually a climb to that greatness, and it's never an easy path. From selling groceries to winning a Super Bowl to guys completely selling out stadiums to even becoming major busts. But some achieve greatness and their legacy will live on forever in the college football history books. So today, we're going to go over some of the greatest walk-ons of the past 20 years. To kick off our list is Hunter Renfro. Now, while some players may have had better stat lines than Renfro, no one has had as many big plays on the big stage than Renfro. Renfro received many FCS offers, but turned them all down so he could go and join Dabo Swinney, and is quite possibly one of the greatest business decisions he could have made. He proceeded to add 20 pounds to his 5'10 frame, going from 155 pounds to 175 pounds in the 2015 offseason, and earning himself a scholarship in the process, and didn't look back from there, playing in 4 straight college football playoffs for the Tigers, helping them to championships in 2016 and 18. He was particularly impressive in the 2016 and 17 national championship games, tallying 17 receptions for 180 yards and 4 touchdowns against Bama. That of course includes the last second go-ahead touchdown from Deshaun Watson in the shootout matchup, which gave the Tigers a thrilling 35-31 win over the Crimson Tide, leading Renfro to get drafted by the Oakland Raiders in the 5th round of the 2015 draft.
Hey.
This is John Gruden with the Oakland Raiders. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing?
Hey, we just made a trade in the draft. We're going to make you a Raider. You fired up about that?
I'm fired up something. I like it.
And although being overshadowed by Devontae Adams this past year has been a solid option for the team, having one 1,000-yard season, and is looking to get back to his Clemson days this season. But this next player on our list was a force to be reckoned with, not only in the NFL, but especially in college. Clay Matthews. Despite his envious NFL lineage and the fact that he was the 4th player in his family to play for the Trojans, Matthew earned his way onto Pete Carroll's USC team as a part of a quartet of NFL-bound linebackers. He wreaked havoc in the Trojans' elephant position, in which he would use his linebacker speed and rushing abilities from the defensive end position. The stats never stood out, but his play did. Part of the reason he became a 1st-round pick for the Packers in the 2009 NFL Draft, and helped them reach the Super Bowl and rack up 3 tackles and a forced fumble. To help beat the Steelers 31-25. And if that doesn't prove that generational talent can come from anywhere, then our next player will do just that.
Minnesota Vikings have selected wide receiver from Marshall University, Randy Moss.
No, not that Moss. The other Moss.
Moss always had the ability to break a game wide open.
Santana Moss, he's got a wall. See ya. He's gone.
That's right. Santana Moss was a walk-on to one of the greatest, if not the greatest college football team assembled of all time. I mean, look at this roster from head to toe. It was just built different. And so was Moss, who in just 3 games, the coaches knew they had someone special and offered Moss a scholarship, and would not regret this decision, living up to his famous quote,
Big time players step up in big games.
Moss went from walk-on in 1997 to one of the university's most decorated of all time in 2000. Moss threatened a big play every time he touched the ball.
Santana Moss, he's got a wall. See ya. He's gone.
Using his explosive playstyle to become the program's all-time leading receiver with 2,546 receiving yards, passing the legend Michael Irvin in the process, as well as the all-time leader in all-purpose yards. But his best season came as a senior when he totaled 1,604 yards from scrimmage and 11 touchdowns en route to being named the Big East Offensive Player of the Year and the Big East Special Teams Player of the Year in the same season, as well as taking home the national title versus Florida also. Oh yeah, and he also won the triple jump event for Miami in the 2000 Big East Track and Field Championships, just for good measure. Now, our next player tragically passed away in May of 2021, but while he was with us, is one of the greatest walk-on stories of all time.
He was one of the best quarterbacks in college football history, and he played right here at Hawaii. This is great.
Colt Brennan. He walked onto Colorado's football team as a freshman and redshirted before being kicked off the team due to some off-season arrests.
Along the way, he was struggling. Substance abuse, self-medicating.
After spending a year at a JUCO, he was offered to walk on at Hawaii, where he went on to rewrite the NCAA passing record books. He broke the NCAA record for career passing touchdowns despite playing just 3 seasons. The most impressive one is his mark for consecutive games with 200 or more passing yards. He set that mark at 34, and he only played 38 games in his college career for the Warriors. And that year went on to finish 3rd in the Heisman voting in 2007. While he was a 6th-round draft pick in the NFL, Brennan never saw the field in a regular season game and would later fatally pass away from overdosing on fentanyl.
You know, with Colt passing, there's no real relief other than the fact that he was dealing with something that he really wasn't in control of. It created a little easement on our part, knowing that he had tried, and even the facilities that we had put him into or tried to get him involved in, they weren't prepared to deal with someone with this type of disorder.
But will forever be remembered for his prolific passing and greatness at Hawaii. Now, our final and greatest walk-on of all time has done one thing that the others have never done.
Now the biggest question for Cliff Kingsbury as head coach at Texas Tech, who is going to be his quarterback in game 1? The answer is the true freshman walk-on, Baker Mayfield.
Can you imagine the butterflies around this young man's stomach right now? Just 3 months ago, he was walking across the stage getting his high school diploma. Here he is on the national stage getting ready to lead an offense.
That's right. I'm talking about Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield turned down scholarships from Washington State, Rice, New Mexico, and Florida Atlantic to walk on at Texas Tech. Thanks to an injury to projected starter Michael Brewer, Mayfield was given the reins to the offense and became the first true freshman walk-on in FBS history to start the first game of the regular season. But scholarship or not, it didn't matter.
Mayfield goes scrambling into the end zone, touchdown, Texas Tech.
Mayfield tore up SMU that day for 413 yards and 4 touchdowns, and the rest is history.
Baker Mayfield played at Texas Tech and then didn't get offered a scholarship, and all of a sudden transfers to Oklahoma. And Bob Stoops, I guess, kind of sees him as he shows up one day on campus, and next thing you know, starting quarterback for your Oklahoma Sooners.
But he only got better in Norman, throwing for over 12,000 yards and over 100 touchdowns against 21 interceptions in 3 seasons as a starter, and throwing a Heisman Trophy and the first #1 overall pick of the 2018 NFL Draft. And you have the greatest walk-on story in college football history. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and let me know, who do you guys think is the greatest walk-on of all time? And speaking of history, these new rules are just some of the most ridiculous ones that are going to change the NFL season forever. And if you want to see that video, click right here.